Ladies and gentlemen, as we have promised you, despite the fact that Mother Nature wanted to make us wait a little bit, we have promised you that we would get all the on-track action in today, and that includes Radical Cup North America, which was the anchor leg of today's on-track activity. And for the coverage of the Radical Cup North America, here is race announcer Tom Drewer.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you to all the race fans for sticking it out here. Some extreme weather, and we hope you're safe around the park. The field of Radical Cup North America competitors.
They don't have your leg. You're on hers. You're on her box. This is IMSA. I hope that was during the career cup race.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barber Motorsports Park. Thank you, race fans, for sticking it out. Some tremendous weather, some significant weather. I hope all of you are safe. We are about to go racing here in the Radical Cup North America program, and the pace car is coming down the pit lane. 28 drivers taking to the track. This is race 3 of the Radical Cup. Of course, with the weather, some changes. So typically, race 3 features a mandatory pit stop. That will not be taking place in this one today. And furthermore, the race has been shortened slightly in duration. So a 30-minute race instead of the typical 40-minute race. But the good news is race 3 is taking place. So, again, the pace car just waiting momentarily as the field makes its way down the pit lane. And we will take you through the grid. We do expect 2 pace laps. And right at the back, Dermot Ennis, not the weekend he was hoping for, but he's in it for this one, and we'll see what he can do, charging through from the back of the pack, a 1340 competitor with points on the board, and certainly not out of the running of that championship. From row 13, Kenny Nail will start alongside Dennis Kelly. Nail, another 1340 driver, looking for the points. Meanwhile, Dennis Kelly, his debut in the championship this weekend after running in Lamborghini competition, deciding that the high horsepower SR10s of the Radical Cup was the way to go. On row 12, Richard Gerosha with some work to do. He'll start alongside David Mason. Those two had a great battle in the Pro 1500 field, and they're also gold class competitors. From 22nd on the grid, it's Brady Clapham, who's been fighting it out with Vaughan Gleis all weekend long. So far, Gleis, a bit unfortunate that he hasn't come away with a win in his debut in the championship. But look out for Vaughan Gleis. He was faster than Brady in the second race, and I wouldn't be surprised if he could clinch his first win in his debut race weekend of the Radical Cup Series. Brady Clapham, though, has got his eyes on the Pro 1340 calendar or championship, and certainly is leading the points as we head into this one. Out of 20th on the grid, Ben Blander, another of the Platinum Class cars, who will start a bit further back than he'd like, in the middle of what will be a tremendous fight in Pro 1500. Andy Lowe starts alongside him, one of our international competitors from the UK, and Andy taking part in multiple Radical Cups around the world, including the Golf Cup in the Middle East and the Fine Cut United Kingdom Championship. From row 9, James Long, another one who will start from the Primal ranks, and Primal, based at Atlanta Motorsport Park. Effectively, this is one of their home races and a huge contingent of drivers. He'll start alongside Scott Wagner. Wagner, another one to look out for, a Platinum class car that has some work to do in this field, starting from 17th. From row 8, it's Mike Anzaldi in Pro 1500. Alongside him, Valen Venkatesh. Venkatesh found the barriers just around there in turn, in the backside of the circuit, turn 12 area yesterday, and we're lucky that Valen is okay. From row 7, it's a Arul Venkatesh, and actually that is not Arul that we can see on screen. That's a Richard Derosha, but Arul, Valen's older brother, and the older and wiser brother, just starting just ahead of his younger brother. Hopefully he'll lead the way in this one. Luke Kendall, another young gun who will start in the Pro 1500 field. A good debut weekend for him. We expect to see him out in the championship a couple more times this year. He'll start from 13th on the grid. From 12th, it's Matt Roma, a father and son duo. Matt starts from 12th. It's Jack Yang in 11th. Again, Pro 1500 drivers. Spencer Schmidt starts from 10th on the grid. Sam Schmidt's son, running for Graham Rahal Performance. Ryan Persing, a strong one for him in race 2, and that's led to starting from 9th in this one. Row 4 will be Austin Riley, also impressive pace from him in race 2, has put him further up the grid than we've seen this weekend. He'll start alongside Chip Roma, Matt's father, and again in the Platinum class. Louis Schreiber, what can he do from row 3? He's been hoping to see the podium, but it hasn't been a lucky weekend for him. We'll see what the 111 machine can do in this one. Raider Nicole start from 5th. So quick as Raider Nicole that he's been in the mix, in the hunt for the outright win amongst those Platinum class cars. And could we see a Pro 1500 driver take the outright win today? We'll wait and see, because trying to beat them will be John Field, Steve Jenks. Field further back than he would like in this one. And then on the front row of the grid, it's David Albon, who was ever so impressive until having a massive incident in yesterday's second race. Dropped a wheel, broke some front diffuser, and then found himself right there, actually, stricken on the racetrack and nearly taking out a couple of other competitors. Wayne Williams, again on the pole. And Wayne Williams, tremendously strong this weekend in terms of his pace. He's taken 2 third places, but he's yet to take a win here at Barber. Indeed, a win in the championship this year. And he is starting in the prime position on the pole. And the green flag is out. So already we can see that John Field is running up the inside. A couple of others looking to the inside as well. It was a single file start to lessen the chaos. Further back, some of the Platinum class cars coming through the field. And so far, so good. Couple of drivers remaining a little bit further back, just making sure they stay out of the chaos in turn 1, but it's been clean so far. We've had a spin, though, at the top of the hill. Around goes Chip Roma, the number 5 car. The Stella Artois car goes around. He's managed to keep it out of the wall, though. And another spin. That's Louis Schreiber, who has taken, I think, or is it David Albon, who has taken to the grass just at Charlotte's Web. At the front of the field, John Field leads it. Raider Nicole has to relinquish second place outright as the drivers head through the chicane for the first time around the museum. A huge stream of water behind the front runners as they try and make their way around it. Speed now. John Field using all sorts of runoff there. So too does Raider Nicole, who's found himself back in second place outright. So again, the Pro 1500 star, exceptionally quick and using different lines than John Field there. The go-kart line. Round the outside he goes, trying to find grip where the rubber isn't, and it's working for him well. He goes past John Field into the outright lead. Raider Nicole in the Pro 1500 car. One of the mid-range car, if you will, in this field, is in the lead. John Field just trying to survive out there at the moment. Second place in the Platinum class, it's the 57 of Wayne Williams. Then it's an amazing start for Austin Riley, who's found himself second in Pro 1500. Spencer Schmidt's third. Matt Roma fourth. Jack Yang fifth. Andy Lowe's making his way up, putting his experience of the wet weather conditions from the UK into full effect. Raiden Nicole streaking away into the lead outright and in Pro 1500. The 93 driver taking note of some of the USF junior cars earlier today. They were using the wide lines as Wayne Williams has run wide. No, sorry, yeah, it's Spencer Schmidt. Similar colour cars, but Spencer Schmidt just ran wide. He's going to get out-dragged now by Matt Roma, who takes that position. So Matt Roma will elevate himself to third in the Pro 1500 class. Further back, it's Vaughan Glace, who's in the lead from Brady Clapham and Dermot Ennis in Pro 1340. Vaughan Glace, could this be his breakthrough win in what has been a pretty stellar start to his championship? Vaughan Glace from Proper Performance joining the championship late this week. And great to see another competitor out here. So many rookie drivers in the championship this year. Fresh faces, but plenty of people with radical experience as well. And these trying conditions really putting all of that experience to the test. Raiden Nicole, a masterclass at the moment as John Field now starting to find his feet with Wayne Williams behind. We're looking at the action on the live stream of a Matt Roma who's trying to chase down Austin Riley, who's found himself in a stunning position. P2 in the Pro 1500 class. Matt Roma being hunted down now by Ryan Persing, who's managed to get around Spencer Schmidt. So Schmidt falling back a little bit in these early stages of this race. Vaughan Glace now has Andy Lowe between himself and his class rival, Brady Clapham. Brady Clapham leads the points in Pro 1340 at the moment. And they're coming down into Charlotte's Web right now. Vaughan Glace using a slightly wider line. Other drivers coming in tighter. Someone runs very, very wide, a slowing car. And that's one of the SR10s. That's Steve Jenks, who's come to a stop inside Charlotte's Web. So I suspect we're going to see a safety car here if that car can't get started again, but it does. So the single yellow was out. Luckily, no safety car deployed just yet. Steve Jenks has managed to restart that car as we watch Raiden Nicole start another lap. We'll see what the line's like through turn one. He's still taking a wide line, staying off the rubbered-in surface and typical racing line, while John Field takes a much tighter line into turn one. And so far, you'd say Raiden Nicole's, given his performance, it's that off-line that's much better. We've also got a car stationary just at the exit of the top of the hill. You can see the black on the grass, and the safety car is out now. So I don't see the full course caution flags. They are being displayed at the starter's stand. The waving yellow is for the car in Charlotte's Web, and we've also got a stationary yellow in the sector just before for the stricken car there on the inside run up, leading up to Charlotte's Web. So with two cars in two different locations, the right thing has been done, and that's to bring out the safety car, neutralising this race. Now, that gives the likes of John Field, Wayne Williams something to think about on this restart. They have the opportunity to storm past Raiden Nicole, given the Platinum class speed, 430 horsepower in the back of the Platinum class cars, a Ford EcoBoost engine. as opposed to the Pro 1500s, which have a normally aspirated motorcycle-derived engine, 1500cc, four-cylinder, and about 230 horsepower. So just as one car got going again, we had another one. Spencer Schmidt has found himself in the gravel down at Charlotte's Web. We can just see him at the top of the screen. And there is a great shot of Charlotte's Web. So as the safety car comes around, it's collected Raiden Nicol, who is the outright leader. And the good news is the 54, Luke Kendall, has actually rejoined the race. So for whatever glitch there was for Luke Kendall, he's managed to get going again. So that's one less car to pick up. The safety crew is just working on Spencer Schmidt, who's found himself beached in the gravel. Wayne Williams will be looking at the back of John Field's car and wondering how he has to get around him. Williams, no doubt the faster driver this weekend, but nothing has worked out. 2 third places so far. What can he do in this sprint race? A small rainbow coming over the circuit at the moment. And the skies have started to clear. So torrential downpour just before this race was meant to get underway. A long rain delay. Lightning strikes in the area. And that's what caused the big delay, was the lightning. So the race was condensed from 40 minutes to 30. Because of that, the pit stop was eliminated. Bit of a shame for the teams because some of them really pride themselves on the pit stop and the pit window. It's a different dynamic for the Radical Cup and really prepares these drivers for what may lay ahead. In fact, Ryan Persing's brother Nick said that it was crucial for him stepping up into GT cars and the upper echelon of the sport. He was well prepared because of the pit stops in the Radical Cup Series to go racing with full competition stops, knowing what to do and knowing how to maximize the in-lap, maximize the out-lap. So the teams have been given some reprieve down in pit lane. The drivers too, under this full course caution period. The crew's still working on getting Spencer Schmidt's car out, and he's driving out. So Schmidt has gone a couple laps down, a little bit of debris across the track, but the safety cars, the safety car could even get prepared to release the cars this lap. If we're lucky, the emergency crews have done a good job here to get Spencer Schmidt out of the way. Now they are trying to desperately get out of the way. The full course caution flags have been dropped. We are expecting to go green this time by. There's definitely debris down in Charlotte's Web. And some stunning shots from the USAC drone. So Steve Jenks has come back through pit lane. The green flag flies. Raiden Nicol is immediately eclipsed by 2 of the faster Platinum class cars. That puts him into the clutches, perhaps, of Austin Riley. Around the outside goes a number of drivers through turn 1. So it's like a traffic jam through turn 1 and turn 2 as numerous drivers in different classes try to negotiate this long right-hander and over the crest where the car gets light, particularly in these trying conditions. John Field is now trying a slightly wider line as Raiden Nicol put to good effect. Meanwhile, Wayne Williams has had a moment. He's dropped behind Austin Riley, who finds himself third on the racetrack. Wayne Williams now trying to storm past and hopefully get back into striking range of John Field. A car slowing there out of the centre hairpin. I think that was one of the primal drivers. We've had a very slow car at the exit of the chicane down near the museum. It's almost stationary in the middle of the racetrack. Now there's a car spun at the top of the museum. So all sorts of chaos in that area of the racetrack. More side-by-side action as the drivers head up around this sweeping right hand of the penultimate corner here at Barber Motorsports Park. So, as Raiden Nicole and John Field duke it out for outright honours, Austin Riley is cruising in third place. Matt Romer's found himself in third place in the Pro 1500 class, fourth on the racetrack. The top drivers strung out. Louis Schreiber makes a pass down the main straightaway. Again, Raiden Nicole leads John Field down into Charlotte's Web. You can see Field closing in under brakes as Raiden Nicole runs very, very wide, but gets great momentum, uses all the track and a little bit of curb on the exit of Charlotte's Web. Now he heads down and gets absolutely annihilated by the speed of John Field, who cuts him off as they go into the museum corner. And this is the challenge for John Field. He really needs to get ahead of Raiden Nicole if he can, as we've had another driver run wide at Charlotte's Web. So John Field doesn't seem to be able to do anything in the slightly heavier, even though it's faster, SR10, slightly heavier, more difficult to navigate around some of these corners, particularly in this weather. And this circuit unique because whilst it's got some very fast, short chutes, it's also got very, very long radius corners, which absolutely is where the Pro 1500 cars can be put into good effect. So again, Raiden Nicole stretches his legs down the front straightaway as we watch the battle further back. So onto the straightaway. We can see the 128 of David Mason. Then there's a huge plethora of cars. The 199. That was David Albin, who's just trying to claw his way back up through the field. The Platinum class remarkably low in the pack, with Wayne Williams, who's dropped back. Louis Schreiber also. So Chip Romer finds himself in second in that class, running down in 11th. And two cars have found their way to the gravel. Who gets stuck and who gets through? It's a Platinum class car that's trundling through the grass, trying to get back to the racetrack, and does so. But we've still got someone stuck in the gravel, which isn't good news. And I fear that this race will be neutralized again. So 14 minutes remain on the clock. Again, not our typical 40-minute race. This is a 30-minute sprint. No mandatory pit stop. But still plenty of complexity for these drivers to deal with. Austin Riley, a superstar as well. An impressive drive for the young Canadian, third on the racetrack, second in Pro 1500. The full course caution has just come out. And I think that's Spencer Schmidt, who's having a look, but he's going to have to back out there, as he does after he sees the full course caution flags. So again, the emergency crews will go to Charlotte's Web. Aptly named, it's easy to get stuck in that corner. Big gravel trap, obviously a reasonable amount of speed being carried into that corner. It's downhill in the braking zone. Makes it quite treacherous in these conditions. And with rubber not just on the racing line, it's quite easy to hang wide all around that corner. There's no wonder that people are just finding it a bit treacherous in that one. Raiden Nicole absolutely loving things out there. Again, in the lead in a Pro 1500, no mean feat against the higher horsepower cars. John Field, an extremely experienced driver as well, former Le Mans Series champion. Field knows how to win a motor race, certainly knows how to battle as well, but he's also got to be careful because whilst he would like the bragging honours of an outright win, he's got to be mindful of his class companions. And Wayne Williams now is second in class. So Chip Roma is the one stuck down in the gravel. After finding himself in second place, Chip Roma now tumbling down the timesheet. The other big mover and shaker in this race has been Vaughan Gleis. So he has managed to find himself now in fourth overall. Could we see the front runners, the winners in each class, 1, 2, and 3? Raiden Nicole, the leader in Pro 1500, leads this race outright. He's the one, the first in line behind the safety car. Then it's John Field, the leader in the Platinum class. Then Austin Riley, second in Pro 1500. Then we're back to the 18 of Vaughan Gleis. 2 seconds this weekend. He's looking for his first win in his Radical Cup debut weekend. And he's in the right spot. But his rival for the weekend is only 2 cars behind. Matt Roma sits between Vaughan and Brady Clapham, another Canadian, doing well in the wet. Jack Yang's right up there as well. Yang runs in multiple Radical Cup series around the world. And with 14 championships across the globe, it's easy to start ticking off the bucket list. So the emergency crew's just trying to extract this car out. The front end of that SR10 stuck in the gravel. You can see the grooves from the tyres as people have ploughed through this this corner. Only a couple of drivers have managed to extract themselves out the other side. The 128, that's David Mason. He's further down in the back, running 21st overall. And there's a little bit out of sequence with the pack. Needs to catch up. So Chip Roma has been pulled out of the gravel trap and is back underway. The safety car is coming around, so we'll get one more lap under safety car. We've got 9 minutes remaining on the clock. David Mason is just negotiating the scene of that incident. We can see the emergency crews getting out the way now, and the safety car leading the field around turn 2. So one more lap to go under the safety car. 8 minutes and change remaining on the clock. So all of a sudden, John Field could find himself under attack from Wayne Williams if Wayne can have a good restart. He's got a few cars, though, to pick off. John Field sits in second. Wayne Williams currently in 11th, but ahead of him, it's only Pro 1340s and 1500s, which certainly down the front straightaway will be much slower. Meanwhile, if Field gets a break, that will put Ray Nicol just ahead of the Austin Riley machine. Vaughan Glace is going to have to be careful off this restart as well. He has got the buffer of Matt Roma in there. And the pack just being controlled now by Red Nicol, who brings the pack very, very slowly around indeed. We're going to wait and see where he goes. The safety car is still out, so we've got another car that has stopped on circuit and has refired. So the safety car will do one more tour. 6 minutes remain on the clock. A few more laps certainly available. So we thought we were going to get a chance to go back green, but at the last minute, the safety car had to abort that one. We had a car that just momentarily stopped on, as it turned out, over on the backside of the circuit. Vaughan Glace will be hoping that the clock keeps ticking. He sits fourth in the queue with the number 6 of Matt Roma between him and what has been a strong rival in the Pro 1340 class, Brady Clapham, the points leader. Now, Valen Venkatesh has just is trying to readdress the situation, I believe, but I'm not sure how that works. So the pace car is still out on circuit. The lights are out though, so the safety car is to come in this lap. And again, Rayden Nicol bunches up the field. Rayden Nicol now goes, using the wide line, trying to get the maximum advantage on this restart. John Field is going to try and keep up with him. He doesn't do so through that final quarter. Rayden Nicol might just remain in the lead as they head down into turn one, and he does. So a masterclass on how to restart a race there from Rayden Nicol, knowing that he probably had the speed through that final corner and too wide around turn two. So Rayden Nicol now will head down into Charlotte's Web. Can John Field find a way past the young kid from Georgia? Nicol with plenty of experience in these radical machines, whether it's the SR1, SR3 or SR10. Primal running a racing school out of Atlanta Motorsport Park. Wayne Williams seems to be struggling with a car back there, as John Field is ahead now of Nicol, who tries to go around the outside at the museum. Brave stuff from the youngster. He does it. And John Field finds himself with an eyeful of Rayden Nicol once again. Nicol with a big wiggle and a wag as he goes through the high-speed section. on the backside of the circuit, but he's managed to do it. He really wants to win this race outright. Nicole finding the water. A big slide again as he rounds the second to last corner. And you can see the wider lines he's putting to full effect. Finding the grip out there in this very treacherous Barber Motorsports Park. Vaughan Gleis is still sitting fourth. He still leads. Pro 1340. Austin Riley, third on the racetrack. A tremendous drive from him. In fact, Austin Riley and Vaughan Gleis really keeping pace with John Field. Brady Clapham has no answer for Gleis today. Wayne Williams has somehow found himself back in second place in the Platinum class. Ben Bland has started to move up as well. So a number of drivers have held the second place position in Platinum. And Raider Nicole with the fastest lap is continuing to stretch his legs over the rest of the pack. He'll get displayed the white flag this time round. And you can see the front of that 1500 SR3 just wiggling around as he tries to push the limits of the grip. Down into turn one he goes again, carrying tremendous pace and speed. John Field sits happily second. Austin Riley starting to fall into the clutches of Vaughan Gleis, who's also found a bit of pace as well as the track continues to dry. Matt Roma is sitting pretty for third, another podium position for him in the Pro 1500 class. But this is an absolute standout drive from Austin Riley, second. He hasn't been really in the hunt for a podium for a long time after stepping up from Pro 1340. A champion in that class, couldn't quite find the pace that he needed to. It's all come alive for him in the difficult conditions here at Barber Motorsports Park after a huge rain delay, lightning and all the rest. These drivers have put on a tremendous show. And from Raider Nicole, who's still pushing on this final tour. Again, you can see how hard he's pushing the car, using all the racetrack. As he comes around these final two corners, Raider Nicole will not only win the Pro 1500 class, but he'll take the checker flag first as the outright winner here today for Primal Racing. John Field comes across the line. He'll take the win in the Platinum class. Austin Riley, home second in Pro 1500. Vaughan Gleis, the winner in Pro 1340. Matt Roma completes the podium in the 1500 class. Brady Clapham comes home second. Wayne Williams second in the Platinum class. Jack Yang just off the podium in 1500. A great result for him. Great drive too for Chris Hunt and Arul Venkatesh. Ben Blander, he finds his way onto the Platinum class podium, beating out Louis Schreiber for those honours. So after a big delay, a 30-minute race. Fantastic to get in race 3 of the Radical Cup North America Series here at Barber Motorsports Park. It wasn't the 40-minute spectacular that we were expecting, but it certainly was a 30-minute spectacle. Fantastic driving, again, from Raiden Nicole, who's not only clinched the Pro 1500 win, but the outright win, beating out the faster Platinum Class cars and an American Le Mans Series champion in John Field, who took the win in that class. Austin Riley, a stellar drive for the young Canadian. Follow him along at racingwithautism.com, proving what you can do today, that's for sure. Vaughan Gleis, what a winner. Finally, it comes for him in his debut. And as you can see, the two-seater IndyCars just getting prepared. It's time to head down to the podium and celebrate some fantastic successes. That was race 3 of the Radical Cup North America Series here at Barber Motorsports Park. It's been fantastic to be a part of the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix presented by AmFirst. And these drivers off to star alongside IndyCar again in a few weeks' time. That'll be at Road America. They'll be with IndyCar yet again at Laguna Seca. Then it's off to the wonderful Road Atlanta and wrapping up the season with Lime Rock, the first for the series there. And then it's the Radical World Finals, November 6 through 9 at VIR Raceway. The Radical World Finals returning to North America. I've been Tom Drewer, and that has been the Radical Cup North America Series.